Hey guys, it's me, Pokemon Bear HD, and today we have week 2 of MLP, where we are facing the reigning champion Deputy Adam and his Madison Marowaks. Now we have a couple changes to our team here, with swapping out the Aromatisse and the Simisage for Torpedo and Tangela. So hopefully that helps cover some speed issues with the speed boosting Sharpedo, and then just a bulkier grass type with Tangela over Simisage, since I definitely did not need Aromatisse when I drafted Mega DNC afterward. And we are facing quite the threatening team with a Hoopa Unbound, Z user, Excadrill, Mega Charizard X, Ribombee, Tangrowth, Alligator, Magneton, Conkeldurr, Z Chinchino, and Z Banette. And so, at least, obviously, the team we're facing here is very slow overall, but obviously then there's Ribombee there, that's the only Fastmon, but also, more importantly, the one that's got webs. And my defog options, since I don't think I actually have any spinning options, are Drampa and Landorus, which I did not feel like having defog on either of those was going to really get the job done, since it's such a threatening team, especially to Drampa. So I did bring Landorus, but it does not have defog, so my strategy going in was, well, I have a Magic Bounce Mon, so let's lead DNC and hope that I can prevent webs, but otherwise I don't really have any countermeasures to webs. So first Mon we'll go over is the Great Moth, Venomoth, with Bug Buzz, Quiver Dance, Sleep Powder, and Roost, with enough speed to outspeed a Jolly Excadrill, and hopefully this is really my only Mon that does, I guess, quote-unquote check Conkeldurr, depending on its set, but it's really my only fighting response, because Ice Punch is going to do too much to Landorus to make my only other fighting resist not really helpful, and if it's Assault Vest, it can live hits from Landorus, so I definitely needed to bring Venomoth, and hopefully it being the great mon it is, having the strong tinted lens Savage Spinout will help me out. Then next we have Assault Vest Entei, with enough speed to outspeed Hoopa Unbound, and this is just a pretty standard set. I only needed fire and ground coverage, so that was nice that it hits everything and does a lot of good damage, as well as tanks some hits since the HP is already really high, and then we have a little bit of Spadef investment in that Assault Vest to help me better deal with Hoopa and also Ribombee, as well as just having an overall strong attacker with nice priority and E-speed. Then we have defensive Manaphy with Scald, Toxic, Sleep Talk, Rest, which it's got enough speed to outspeed Excadrill, and then the rest is just trying to make it as bulky as possible to kind of blanket check the Charizard X and the Alligator, which are the mons that I'm most afraid of setting up beyond maybe a bulk up Conkeldurr, but since everything is I'm gonna have things faster than it, even outside of the possible webs, then it's not as big of a deal. So this definitely is just to make sure I don't get set up on and swept. Then we have Cobalion with enough speed to outspeed Charizard X, which it kind of has the same function for the most part with the Akaberry, so then I at least have one switch into Charizard X, and I have Toxic T-Wave, Sacred Sword, Stealth Rock, so I can obviously get rocks up and hopefully have to face a 50% Charizard X rather than 100%, and then Toxic T-Wave for nice utility across the team and Sacred Sword over close combat just so I don't get the drops. Then we have Landorus, which is a pretty simple set. It's just Earth Power Sludge Wave Psychic hits majority of the team really well, and then U-turn hits the Hoopa Unbound with just enough speed to outspeed Charizard X, and hopefully this can at least break through any fat things that potentially get brought against me. And then last we have Mega Diancie, the Web Stopper, which has Moonblast, Power Gem, Earth Power, Reflect, and enough speed to outspeed the Mega Charizard X. And so, yeah, as I said earlier, Magic Bounce is really my only play against webs, and I did not bring any Scarfers. So, I mean, Landorus is the only thing not affected that I'm bringing by the webs, which is nice at least, though, that it does outspeed everything outside of any Scarf Mons or the Ribombee, which, I mean, if the Ribombee has to set up webs, it's gonna get either knocked out after setting up webs, or it's gonna get knocked down to 1% where my Entei can beat it. So hopefully, I mean, I plan on playing this without webs, but if webs get up, I'll just have to finesse around. So I will come back with the battle. And we are back here with the battle, and so at team preview we can see that it's webs plus offense, since he brought the Excadrill, Charizard X, Feraligatr, Hoopa Unbound, Ribombee, and Conkeldurr, whereas my offense obviously fares much better against his team as long as there's no webs. So like I said in the team builder, definitely leading Mega Diancie. I assume that Ribombee is going to lead and probably has Hidden Power Steel, I would imagine, is its best move to hit me, so we'll go right into the battle. And like I said, Ribombee versus Diancie, I live in HP, I calced it just before this, so he does go for the Hidden Power Steel. I live with 4%, I go for the Power Gem, bring it down to its sash. Now I want to switch out to hopefully save and hope that he doesn't risk going for webs as I potentially stay in, and he gets me. So I have no way to remove webs, but I'm gonna revenge kill this Ribombee very easily, so I'll pause it right here while the Feraligatr comes out. So I unsuccessfully had webs. I thought about it after the battle, wishing I had Protect over the Reflect that I had in the fourth move is just a filler for Diancie, which that would have been super cool, but obviously I did not bank on the whole idea of he was just gonna go for it anyway, because I very easily could have just stayed in to sack the Diancie just to potentially make sure that there would be no webs, at least right there, and then do my best to make doubles to ensure that Entei always came in to ensure that Ribombee would never get it up so I could E-speed. But since webs are up now, my offense is pretty neutered. Mega Diancie's just a sack as it's at 4%, and the Moth can't really set up and sweep since I'm assuming something's scarfed just in case, but especially since I have Landorus that is not affected by the webs. But Landorus is going to be key, and hopefully I can overcome and E-speed my way through this. But now he goes into Feraligatr, as I said, and my switch in immediately is going to be Manaphy. It takes hits from this. I know he's going to probably try to set up since I'm not going to stay in, and I'm not going to risk that. So he goes for the Dragon Dance and then crunches. Does a lot of damage. I get the Toxic off, thankfully land, so I can wear this down and not just straight up lose to this. And so he goes for the Liquidation, and assuming that I might be able to switch, and also, as you can see, it 2-hit kills from that range. So I go for Scald. I didn't go for Rest because I just didn't want to deal with the rolls, so I just wanted to get the damage off. Toxic damage is going to wear him down. He's already down under half. So I'm going to actually go into Cobalion, and I'm actually not going to attack. I'm going to go for rocks. I'm basically sacking this just so I can get up rocks, because Charizard is too much of a threat for me at this point, and I don't know what else I can do to really help me against it. So I get 2-hit KO'd, as I knew the Toxic would kill the Feraligatr as long as he stayed in from that point. So we both go down, and now he goes into Conkeldurr as I go into Landorus, just because that's my one thing that doesn't get hit by the webs, and so my only switch into Conkeldurr and my only answer for Conkeldurr is Venomoth. And as I go into Venomoth, I take the Ice Punch, and then I go for the Sleep Powder, which I need to hope for good sleep rolls, but right now I'm going to go straight for the Z, which you can see he's going to switch into Excadrill. But my reasoning for I wanted to go straight for the Z immediately because I didn't want to quiver up and then this be scarfed and take me out. So I know with the Z I'm going to do a ton of damage to Conkeldurr, which that would have been the most preferred situation in my mind, was just get rid of that Conkeldurr. Or not really it wouldn't get rid of it, but it would put it down to a really low amount of health so that I could kill it later with potentially Entei or Landorus, since I have no idea what set it is beyond it has Ice Punch. So I go straight for the Z, and it does quite a bit of damage to the Excadrill because, well, Venomoth is a god, but I stay in because I'm assuming he's scarfed based off of now he went for Iron Head instead of Rapid Spinning. So that kind of gives me the notion that he's actually scarfed because he was set up fodder for my Venomoth to actually just win if he went for spin. So me staying in allowed me to try to find out more information, and if I quivered up successfully on the Rapid Spin, I'm actually a huge threat to the whole team now. And yes, he gets rid of rocks, but depending on how much speed he invested in Charizard, if I outspeed the whole team with him assuming that he was going to get up webs, I could have just straight up won right there. But he does go for the Iron Head instead, but since he's at 8%, I know that Entei can just come in and revenge kill, so I'm just going to go for the safe E-Speed. No reason to really predict here, and not really much I can do to predict other than just get a Sacred Fire off as he goes into the sleeping Conkeldurr. And so now I can just go for a Sacred Fire, do a ton of damage as he thankfully stays asleep. And so no first turn wake, which is very helpful since this is such a threat, and I can just E-Speed to make sure that I kill this because I don't want to miss that in that 5%. So then he goes into Charizard X. You're forced to Mega Evolve turn 1, so he goes for Earthquake, does a good amount of damage, but I go for Bulldoze, does enough to put him in range of E-Speed. That's all I needed, and even if he did Roost, he's getting slower, so I can deal with it other ways. And he goes into Hoopa. I'm just going to sack the DNC. I don't really have any use for it, and it's just been sitting there at 4%. And he goes for the Z, but it's Z Snatch, which now he's faster than everything, so now it's just up to the coverage. He takes out the DNC. I go into Landorus because this is the only thing that can live a hit if he doesn't have HP Ice. He goes for Dark Pulse, meaning he doesn't have HP Ice, and thankfully I don't flinch, so I can just U-turn out and go back into Entei, and then E-Speed away on that Excadrill and take a very narrow but very hyper-offensive game, 2-0 win. And even though I let up the webs very stupidly, I was able to thankfully come out with the win. And so now the Los Angeles Lookers are 2-0 with a nice 7 differential and a win over the reigning champion. So looking good, feeling good about the team so far, performing well, and hopefully we can continue this success to the championship. And Entei was quite the savior there, thankfully, so thank goodness Entei gets E-Speed. Bye bye.